everyone, and welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to do the long-awaited Strathmore Mixed Media Sketchbook tour. If you're wondering which one this is the 500 Mixed Media Paper series. The book is sort of like leather-ish bound, so it's a soft cover book, and the paper in here is actually really lovely to use. I'll give you like some feedback all the way through that as well. I decided to design my front cover. It's just acrylic pens with a little bit of just like sealant on top, and on the inside of my pages I always cover in stickers. Some of these stickers you will recognize, some of them you won't, because they were Patreon exclusives or they are stickers that I've collected of artists. So this was quite a fun sketchbook to fill out. There is some work in here, work in progress for future projects. Like for example, all these little fairies that you see here are from my Flower Fairy stamp sticker series, which is up on my store now. And over these next few pages in particular was concept designs for the Enchanted Forest coloring book. Like this one in particular was like concept art for the fox spirit, and the ones over here was just like concept work for like mushroom fairies, dragons made of the forest, and so on and so forth. I did a lot of concept work for the Enchanted Forest, and if you do want to have a look at a full-on printed sketchbook that you can own, there is the Enchanted Forest sketchbook, which is up on my store as well. A lot of promotions for the store. I really like this singing mountain illustration and this one with a frog in the front, and this lovely lady which is on the right hand side is a druid D&D character that I've yet to play. There's quite a few D&D concepts in here which I find would be really fun to share, but overall this sketchbook was so much fun. Like for example, these two, you can see them with the black hair, that's Violet and Enya. They are secretly dragons, and they work for the secret star society which helps run the world and keep it on the concept. Some work for Bumble for concepts of pins. Kitsune, these are a race that are in my D&D built world. They are super fun, super cheeky, and actually are handmaidens to the old druid Kalyana, who they make sure that because she's completely blind, they make sure that she's absolutely safe and help protect her. This was some concept work for the Summer Palette Challenge. So what did I think of this sketchbook? This sketchbook was super fun to fill in. It didn't buckle a lot underwater, which is absolutely fantastic. However, if I did use markers in it, it did bleed through to the other side if you were particularly heavy-handed. So that's my notes. If you're ever using alcohol markers in a sketchbook, just be aware that they will bleed through unless the paper has been specifically coated for markers. It's just one of those. Unfortunately, not a lot of paper is built for mixed media with markers, and if you want to use markers, you want to use marker specific paper unless you don't mind it bleeding through to the other side. I actually tend to take advantage of this and do like scrapbook methods on the other side, or try and use the color on the other side to do something new. This character design is super cute. I designed her around last Halloween. She was like a Cyclops witchy character, and I really want to work on that some more. Thumbnailing is super important to me, especially when I'm working on bigger pieces. And these ones that are here, which you can just about see, the light sketches, is me working out the concept by the Brook illustration that I did for a video back in November. I tend to know exactly how a piece sits, but I like to do a few concept pieces to see if there's a better way this piece can sit and design, because originally I was going to have her climbing over a tree trunk instead of sitting on it. So the ones that you see on the right here, these are the concepts for the Raven Gang, which runs in my D&D world. And they're sort of like a secret society. This is all of them at the bottom. I particularly love the Kenku, whose name is Birdbrain, who likes to blow balls in drinks. And Lilith, she's really, really fun. She is the lady with the space buns that you see. And I also really like the character that you see on the next page in a sec. On the left is a few concepts. I've been trying to think of concepts for like D&D spells, which are kind of like obtuse. So like the healing spell and like the decay spell, I was trying to think of like interesting ways to have that concept but still make it pretty but gory at the same time. This is some concept work that I want to make for some tokens. The whole idea is in the Mushroom Hunters world, because they are nomads, they carry around like sort of talismans with them, and these talismans are meant to give them good luck. And this was just sort of being like designing rough concepts of it. There's a lot of design work in here. It's ridiculous. There's so much like concepting. This is Chroma. She is the white tiefling. She's actually Lamia tiefling grass, and as a result she's completely mute. But her entire jaw hinges like a snake, so when she eats, she's like nom 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 nom. But she's a very lovely, friendly character overall, and has quite a sweet nature. Just unfortunately, she's gets looked upon as society as a interest of nature, let's say to speak, because there is not many Lamia tiefling crosses. It's just me working out. There's a lot of pages in here where I'm just like concepting or working out things. Like this is for concept work for the Sugar Plum Fairy Shriky Dinks that I made back as a part of Sketchmas in 2020, where I did 12 videos in a row. Yes, I am insane, and it was a lot of fun to do. And some of these pages I'm not happy with at all, but with sketchbooks it's more for me. It's about concepting and showing your workings out before a finalized product. Some of these are good and some of these are terrible, like the one in the top left corner here. This is my concept work for the holiday crown that I wanted to work on, like the Beltane illustration. I really liked this Snow Queen idea. I never went anywhere with it. And this was a concept on the right hand side that I'm showing you, this orange tiefling, sort of like a gothish tiefling that I was working on. There's a lot of teacup dragons later on, I will say, and this is because I am currently working on the teacup dragons art book. So there's a lot of like me trying to work out like how I want certain prints to look, how do I want like pieces in the art book to look. And I find that my sketchbooks aren't like organized in any way, shape or form. They're just like a jumble of ideas, like, ooh, concept, and like, ooh, this is an idea I have, all that. This is another like tiefling design, but based on like, what if they were crossed with like a spider and had many eyes. Prickles is always a good shout. I watched Soul and really wanted to make my own soul sonar, I think they called them, and that this was like my sort of rough concept. Now on the left here we have my gorgeous tiefling, which I am currently playing. Yes, I have a thing for tieflings, called Isabella Amora Darlington. Now she does have her own dedicated sketchbooks, that's why there's only one page of her in here. I found that I end up doodling her a lot during the sessions when we are playing, so I dedicated a whole sketchbook for her. So she's just like super fun to draw because she has a lot of line of actions which are really fun to play around with. And this one on the right you may recognize from a video that I did where I talked about colouring your traditional sketches in digitally, showing a technique that I'd learned. This here is the original concepts for the Bumble pins and sticker sheet. I had a lot of concepts that I was working out, and these are the original designs. And on the right here is some concept work for a piece that I wanted to do. I was really inspired by a scene in Critical Role's Mighty Nine campaign with Caduceus and the Wild Mother as they were floating down in a pond, and I just really wanted to bash flesh out the idea and get a color concept down, and it was all done in gouache and acrylic pens. I would love to flesh that out in the future. Just sometimes I just got to get a concept down. I really like this circular like elven design. I have no idea where I would use it. I just really like her. More D&D concepts. In particular, you can see the wolf and the hand that's at the bottom. They are concepts for the spell Decay, which is a really interesting spell. Or I think it's called like Remorse or something. It's such a fun Grave Repose. I was like thinking of like concepts how I could do that, trying to make it look pretty but still adding that sort of like gory concept. And the two characters up at the top are more D&D characters from the Salty Sailors campaign. More doodles. This one's Captain Ruby, who's from the Salty Sailors campaign. I absolutely love her. Little chibi kitty there. I was prepping for Mermaid, and this water genasi is another concept for a D&D character I would love to play. I have a lot of concepts for D&D characters. I just really like playing it, and I find that it really inspires my work lately. Now, when I'm feeling like really uninspired, and I was going through a phase in April of where I was really struggling to work, and I saw that the Blob challenge was a really good idea and wanted to try it out in my sketchbook, and these are the results of my first ever Blob challenge. I like some of these concepts, but not all of them. And here we go into more teacup dragons. This little girl here, I kind of wanted a character for the teacup dragons that's almost going to be like a guy. So I was like trying to create like this dragon-esque character, like a dragonborn-esque character that's more humanoid than dragon. I've still got a lot of like concepting to do with her, but she seems really fun. Page of Geese, inspired by my wonderful Discord group who are obsessed with ducks and geese. More teacup dragon designs and just like me playing around with watercolors. More teacup dragons. There's a lot of teacup dragons. What can I say? I'm in a teacup dragon drawing mood. In particular, I really like these bottom two concepts. I think they work really well, and I would like to develop them more as prints and illustrations. Just an idea I wanted to get out of my head with Marie and Prickles. I don't like the hand. I think it's not in the right placement. It would need to be moved over a little bit more to the left for it to sit right, but I like the mood that the illustration's bringing out. This is another character design concept of a fish folk shark girl. I don't know, I just wanted to play around with like some designs of like a really cute blue character with like watery hair. More teacup dragons. You're gonna get fed up of seeing these. Because they're going to be in like every sketchbook for like probably the next year or so, just while I'm concepting and working on the art book. There's going to be a lot of them. And if you watched last week's video, you are going to recognize these next few pages, as I recently did post a video. If you do want to check it out, there will be a link in the bio, which you can link that will pop up on the video as well, that you can go and watch, where I show you how I did these techniques and how to apply them into your sketchbooks. They're not perfect, but the whole idea of having a sketchbook is to have finished but not perfect concepts, because you can always go back to a concept and flesh out ideas. And of course, the last page of my sketchbook has to be my beautiful boy Prickles. I love drawing him so much. I also have some of my washi tape designs here, because that's when I got my first set of washi tapes, and I was super excited. And since then we have so many more washi tapes. But that is my Strathmore Sketchbook tour. Overall, I really enjoyed using the sketchbook. It was really nice to use, and I'm really glad that I managed to try it out, especially considering I got it in sale. At its full price, I do recommend it. But if you're doing a lot of mixed media stuff, you might as well get a cheaper one. I've actually got my next sketchbook already ready to go. I'm very, very excited to use it. But you'll have to let me know what your favorite page was. What concept design are you excited for? What character design were you most excited for? You'll have to let me know in the comments section down below. Have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, folks, stay creative.